Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Dover in just the Cup Series, no Xfinity race in this episode. So obviously, hopefully we can run good here. We've had a win at this racetrack in the past. We've had a second place finish, so we know how to run good here. And hopefully we can keep that going in today's episode. And as we came to qualifying, going down the bike straightaway, heading down into turns 3 and turns 4, we had a decent lap. I could have been a little bit better coming to the hot lap, but I didn't get the best entrance of the hot lap I wanted, and it would kind of pay at the end as we will start P5 with a 22.812 with Chase Elliott on the post. Hopefully we can work our way forwards here in Dover.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series rolls into Dover, Delaware for the running of the AAA 400 Drive for Autism. Dover International Speedway, also known as the Monster Mile, is a track with banking so high, drivers often call it a roller coaster ride. In 2017, Jimmy Johnson rode this roller coaster to his 11th checkered flag, extending his own track record for wins. He is clearly not intimidated by Miles the Monster. Can the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet do it again? Let's go trackside for the start of the race.
All right, we are ready to go green here in Dover. Chase Elliott on the pole. Jimmy Johnson didn't have a good practice session. This team knows they can do better. They've been struggling ever since they won the Daytona 500 at the beginning of this season. As you see, Elliott on the pole now as we get ready to go green from the 5th starting position here in Dover behind our teammate Denny Hamlin as we're ready to go in Dover, and the green flag is out and we are underway now as we head down towards turns 1 on the concrete mile alongside Joey Logano as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2. Elliott side by side with Kyle Busch. A good start for Busch on the outside. Usually you don't see that in this game. Now as we come out of turn 2 side by side, still with the 22 of Joey Logano and the number 22 Pennzoil Mustang. Now as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4, trying to stick her nose up the inside of the 4 of Harvick, but unable to do so now as he gets down to that bottom line and slides down just in front of me now as we come out of turn 4, heading down the front straightaway, looking to the outside of Harvick as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2 now as Kyle Busch starts to drift backwards after starting on that top lane. As we come out of turn 2 though, behind both of Harvick and Busch, we're going to try and set it up the inside 3 wide with both of them as we head down into turn 3. An aggressive move early on here in this race now as we go 3 wide through the center of the corner. Busch, he backs out of it and we would get ahead of him and Kevin Harvick and move up into that 3rd position early on here on the 3rd lap of this event. And I would kind of get stuck in this 3rd position behind Hamlin and Elliott as we came to about the midway point of the stage. 10 or so laps later, about 12 laps later on lap 15 now, I decided we're going to try and make the outside work, and that would certainly be a big mistake on my part. As we came out of turn 4, Joey Logano, he'd be able to look to my inside as we came across the line, heading down towards turns 1 and turns 2. Elliott continuing, though, to lead this race as we certainly have about 6 cars or so that are really strong here in this event now, including myself as we come down the back straightaway, heading down towards turn 3, but stuck on this outside, learning quickly that the outside doesn't work very well under green flag conditions as Logano, he would get past. Kyle Busch would move to my inside, and he would try to pass us as well as we came down across the line, heading down towards turns 1 and turns 2 with 13 laps to go in this first stage. So Kyle Busch, he would get past me as we came out of turn 2, and Harvick, he would also look to my inside, and he would be able to get past me as we went down towards turns 3. And we would kind of get stuck behind this group of cars as we came to lap 19, looking to the outside of the 4 of Harvick as we come out of turn 4. We would end up getting into the wall there as we came out of the corner, making a big mistake on my part, just a misjudgment as I was giving it way too much throttle on the exit of the corner and pushed up into the wall. We didn't suffer too much damage, but it's certainly going to be damage that we would have to repair when we came to pit road at the end of the stage. But we would run into lap traffic as you see here. The cars up ahead would not want to move up to this top line. They were stuck behind a train of lap traffic with 2 to go now in the stage. So obviously I'm going to hop on the opportunity. Chase Elliott, the leader, he actually did move to the outside and drove right on past these lap cars, but everyone else just stayed in line, and this would give me a huge opportunity to move our way through into the top 5. Now passing Logano for 3rd and passing Denny Hamlin for 2nd as we come through out of turn 4, taking now the white flag in this first stage. Looking to the right hand side, just about to park the Kligerman as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2. Chase Elliott way up ahead as he's got this stage 1 if he doesn't make a race ending mistake going down into turn 3. and turns 4 as we look to the outside now of Ryan Truex as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time in Stage 1. Elliott in command. He won a couple episodes ago as he will come through now to win Stage 1 in Dover as we get P2 in the first stage as we just get ahead of Haley Deegan there as we cross the line. So a good stage for us after starting 5th. We certainly have some repairs to make to the car, so we're going to lose maybe a spot or 2 after this pit stop, but hopefully we'll be able to make up for it here on this green flag run in Stage 2. So we would come to pit road to take 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and I would repair the car, like I said, and we would lose 1 position to Denny Hamlin, our teammate. So we would get ready to restart P3, which was actually a good thing that we're on the inside, though, so I wasn't disappointed about that at all now. As we get ready to start the second stage in Dover, the green flag is out, and we are underway once again here for Stage 2 now in Dover now as we try to get to the inside of Denny Hamlin, our teammate, as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2. Elliott easily out to the lead and clear of Hamlin as we actually touch the apron there as we get into turns 1, slowing up my momentum as we come into turn 2, going down the back straightaway. Hamlin clears me as we head down towards turn 3 as Joey Logano in the Pennzoil Mustang comes alongside of me on my right side as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. We do clear Logano to solidify our spot in the 3rd position as we come through to complete the first lap of Stage 2. And everything was looking good at this point in the race so far. We're having a really good run here in this first and start of the second stage. Now as we come down the bike straightaway, a chance now to look to the inside of the 11 of our teammate Hamlin, and in turn 3 we do make that move and get past the 11 of Denny Hamlin and clear him for the 2nd position now as we set our sights on the 9 of Chase Elliott. Certainly feeling like we had more speed at the start of this stage than we did in the last stage. We immediately get to the back of Elliott now as we come through turns 1 and 2. A chance to look to his inside, but he's a little bit defensive. But as we come down the back straightaway, maybe a chance I'm going to back off the throttle to actually increase the gap between myself and Elliott so I can build up a bigger run on the exit of turn 4, and it looks like it might work out now as we close in on the back of him. And now we look to the inside of Elliott as we come through the front straightaway to the inside of the 9 of Elliott as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2 here on lap 4 in Stage 2. We would clear the 9 of Elliott to take over the lead and over now as we try to set sail on these guys as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4, and we would put a little bit of a gap between myself and Kyle Busch. And as we came to lap 7 of 27 now in Stage 2, still in the lead of Kyle as we head down the back straightaway heading down towards turns 3. Just in front of the 18, we hit the apron and sideways we go, and the 9 goes spinning behind, and we hit pit road as I couldn't get out of pit road in time, and the caution comes out as Elliott wrecks behind us, and we just got one of the biggest breaks I've ever had because we sped onto pit road. As we slid into pit road, we were going to have a penalty, but now the penalty gets wiped after Elliott crashes, and we get to hold on to P5, so a very big moment for us as the green flag would return, and we would restart from the 5th position. In reality, we probably would have went a lap down, and now here we are finding ourselves in the 5th position as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2, and Chase Elliott now is out of this race as him wrecking was just a savior for myself now as we come down the back straightaway. Perfect timing for a crash to happen as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4. Crazy events all of a sudden here in Dover, and we've been given a second chance now as we come down the front straightaway trying to look to the inside of Kevin Harvick. We don't want to waste any time. We were leading this race a couple laps ago, and now we want to try to get back up to the front now as we come through turns 2, clearing Kevin Harvick as we just blow right on past him now. And as we came to a few laps later, we would actually make the same mistake again on the apron. As I came out of turn 4, I would hit it again as you see right here, and we would get passed once again by Kevin Harvick. So a mistake on my part as we just kept on hitting the apron. It was certainly right there was when I really started to settle down as we would still ride right behind Harvick because I actually got into his back bumper as this was already coming to the white flag now in the 2nd stage as we couldn't pass the 4 after he had gone past me. So that apron touch right there was certainly kind of set the mark for me when I decided to change it up and make sure I do not hit that apron anymore now as we come down the back straightaway for the final time in Stage 2. Thankfully still in P4 now as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time behind Kevin Harvick as we come out of turn 4. Kyle Busch, I believe, just won the stage now as we come through to finish 4th in Stage 2 behind Kevin Harvick. So a good result when we really should have been over a lap down. So I could not complain, but hopefully we can rebound here in this final stage. We made mistakes in the 2nd stage, certainly got a little bit crazy, but hopefully we can rebound and maybe still find a way to pull off a victory here in Dover. And we would come to pit road, take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires. Thankfully, still come out in P4 now as we get ready to start this 3rd stage here in Dover now as we get ready to go green. Busch and Logano on the front row as the green flag is out, and we are underway for this 3rd and final stage here in Dover now as we cross the line. It is just 38 laps to go. And as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2, giving a shot to the back of the 22, and that actually pushed me up the track, and that allows Kurt Busch to force a 3 wide as we come out of turn 2, as we fall back to the 6th position, as we battle alongside Denny Hamlin, our teammate now, as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4. Kyle Busch clear of Joey Logano now for the lead as he's trying to set sail as we come out of turn 4 to come through to complete this first lap in the 3rd stage, as I decided to just send it to the inside, trying to make a 3 wide with Hamlin and Kurt Busch, but it didn't work out now as we do still get to the inside of Kurt Busch at least as we come through turns 1 and 2 now down the back straightaway, heading into turns 3 and turns 4, trying to move up back up into the 6th position over the number 1 of Kurt Busch now as we come out of turn 4, setting our sights now on the back of the 11 of Hamlin as we're going to send it up the inside of him as we head down towards turns 1 and turns 2, trying our best to work our way through as quickly as possible. We have no time to waste if we want to have a chance at winning this race now as we come out of turn 2 side by side with the 22 of Logano as we head down towards turns 3 and turns 4, and we would be able to pass him as well and set our sights now on Clint Boyer in the number 14 car. And we wouldn't quite be able to get past the 14 for a few laps as we came now to lap 68 going down the back straightaway, still behind the 14 of Boyer as Kyle Busch continues to lead over 2nd place of Kevin Harvick as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. There's a checkup and there's a car in the track as we move up the track, just avoiding. It was the 47 of Ryan Preece as thankfully we would not get wrecked there as we came down now into turns 1 and turns 2. Preece was up on the track, half of his car was in the apron and on the track, and we would have to avoid him, hit the brakes. The caution, as you see, would come out thankfully as we would come to pit road, take half a can of fuel just to make sure we're okay in case of maybe an overtime situation. 2 cars would stay out, so we would get ready to restart in P7 as Kurt Busch and Logano move to the front row now as the green flag is back out and we are underway again in Dover. Certainly ever since stage 2 started, it's been certainly a crazy race now here in Dover as we head down towards turns 1 and turns 2. We have some work to do because I know the longer this run goes, the more our tires are going to wear, the harder it's going to be for me to be the fastest car on the track now as we come down the back straightaway with less than 30 laps to go at this point as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4 behind Boyer, who was able to get down just in front of me behind Denny Hamlin as we exit turn 4, setting our sights on trying to pass him as we have a chance to do that now as we look up his inside going into turns 1 and turns 2, but he is able to stay clear for the moment as we come through the center of the corner. Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch run P2 or P1 and P2 as we come down the back straightaway now. And as we head down towards turn 3, we'd be able to look up the inside now of Kevin Harvick and move back up into the 6th position at least as we try to continue to move our way forwards here in Dover now as we head down into turns 1 and 2, 27 to go at this point as we also get to the inside of Joey Logano, and we would also be able to get past him as we came down the back straightaway. And as we came to lap 75, we would be able to look up the inside of Clint Boyer as we came through turns 1 and turns 2, moving our way up to the 4th position, setting our sights on the top 3 of Hamlin, Kurt, and Kyle Busch now as we came to lap 84 on the back of Denny Hamlin at this point as we look to his inside as well. And the tires were certainly going at this point. They were wearing pretty quickly and I was running out of the pace, but we at least had enough speed to get to the 11 and pass him with 16 laps to go. And right about here is where I knew that we were going to need lap traffic to help me if I want to have a chance to maybe pass the cars up ahead, because you see we came to lap 90 now, hitting 10 to go as we crossed the line. Kurt and Kyle Busch had pulled further away as Ryan Blaney was riding right behind me now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, and we just couldn't quite run these guys down up ahead as the tires were just gone at this point. But as we came to the lap 95, 5 to go, Kurt Busch, he was still leading. He had moved to the top and passed the lap traffic, but Kyle Busch, he hadn't made the move to the top as he would stay on the bottom, so we would be able to pass Kyle Busch and take the 2nd position here in Dover with just 5 laps to go at this point. But Kurt Busch had moved to the top line, passing the lap traffic, so I knew we weren't going to be able to run him down with the time we had left as we came to 4 to go. Him still driving past all these cars, but he starts smoking, and Kurt Busch, the leader, has blown up with just 4 laps to go in Dover, and we're going to come through to take over the lead now late in this race as a huge moment for Kurt Busch. Major events have gone down here all of a sudden in Dover as we take over the lead as we come to 3 laps to go at this point at the concrete mile now as we cross the line, as we came to just 2 to go, still in command and obviously, as we head down into turn 3 and turns 4, Kurt Busch was passing lap cars, driving away, and then he blows up in front of me, and we come through to take the lead now as we take the white flag heading down into turns 1 and turns 2. What a race this has been so far in Dover, a crazy race, and it gets even crazier at the end as we come down the back straightaway for the final time in Dover, now leading into turns 3 and turns 4 over second place, I believe, of Kyle Busch, who's still stuck in lap traffic. It's not going to matter as we come into turn 4. We are somehow going to come through and win in Dover. We were given a second chance in stage 2 after we hit the apron and went on the pit road speeding as Chase Elliott crashed, and that played the biggest role into this race as we were second with 4 laps to go. We weren't going to run down Kurt Busch. He was driving away, passing those lap cars on the top, and he was about to break away from those cars, but he blows up in front of us and we come through winning this race. Did I deserve to win this race? Absolutely not, but sometimes the guy that deserves to win doesn't always pull it off, but hopefully we can bring some more of these victories here to you guys later this season as we head down towards the playoffs. So a great race it was in Dover, and as we accidentally get into the wall there on the inside wall at the burnout, but thankfully we come through with the victory. 100% did not deserve to win this race, but thankfully we are able to pull it off. So a great race, like I said. A lot of stuff happened after stage 2 started. It was certainly probably the craziest race we've had all season, and thankfully we're the ones that came out on top. I've said the word thankfully like 20 times in the last 30 seconds, but now we move into the P3 in the standings. Kevin Harvick still leads as he has got a good gap, but he has yet to pull off a victory. And I have never won a race like that in any NASCAR video game, at least in single player ever. So certainly a new one for me, but I will take it obviously 100%. I loved that race. That was certainly one of the more fun races I've done all season long, and we come out of here with an extra 5 playoff points, so that will certainly help us out going down the line towards the playoffs, as we're almost halfway through the regular season at this point. Next up, I believe, is Kansas, if I'm not mistaken, which is a track I have never been able to get a top 10 at. So we're going to change it up next time going to Kansas. We need to certainly try something with the setup and see if we can get a top 10 running car in that episode. I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. Like I said, in the next episode, we go to Dover for Xfinity and Kansas in the Cup Series, I believe. So there's the playoff grid. We now sit P2 on the playoff grid as Austin Dillon's currently the last car in, with Newman the first guy, 72 points out, so he's got some work to do. I will see you guys in the next episode, though. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.